My name is Casey Rutledge. Everyone calls me Casey, and I'm 31 years old. 7 days after a delivery truck ran a red light and folded my car around a guardrail, my mom finally walked into my hospital room, and what she found was an empty bed with a single note on the pillow. By then I already knew about the 3 phone calls. I knew that while a surgeon was saying, "Tonight might be her last," my mom was answering, "We're busy. Her sister needs us more right now." I knew my sister never picked up at all. I knew my dad was 9,000 miles away, believing a story that had been built just for him. But here's what none of them knew. That note on the pillow was only the beginning. What I found in the weeks that followed didn't just break my family apart. It explained, down to the blood in our veins, why that family was never really mine to begin with. Welcome back to Calm Drama Stories, where quiet people finally tell the truth about the families that underestimated them. If stories about betrayal, backbone, and starting over speak to you, drop a comment below and be sure to subscribe. You won't want to miss what happens when the quiet ones stop staying quiet. 2 weeks before the accident, my life ran on a schedule that wasn't mine. I'm a nurse. 8 years on the med-surg floor at St. Bridget Regional, 12-hour shifts, and on the way home I'd swing by the pharmacy for my mom's blood pressure refill because I was already out anyway. I stocked her pill organizer every Sunday. I taped a color-coded med calendar to my parents' fridge, and my mom thanked me the way you thank a delivery driver. I had my own life, technically. A 1-bedroom walk-up I paid for myself, a job I was good at, one houseplant surviving out of spite. But the family group chat owned my evenings, and that spring it had a single subject: my sister Madison's wedding. Dress fittings, cake tastings, a 3-day crisis over napkin colors. Somewhere in the middle, Biscuit, Madison's French bulldog, tore a ligament in his knee, and the chat treated it like a heart transplant. My dad was the only one who ever changed the subject. He was in Singapore for 5 weeks, installing a packaging line for the company he'd given half his life to. Every call started the same way. "How's my girl?" He only ever meant me. The week before he flew out, I'd helped him dig through his study for his passport. Junk drawer, rubber bands, a fistful of church blood drive pins going back 20 years. My dad donates blood like it's a competitive sport. I laughed at the pins, shut the drawer, and thought nothing of it. If I had looked closer, this story might have started 5 years sooner. That Tuesday I clocked out at 7, tired the way only a double shift can make you. I texted my mom that her prescription was in my bag. I never made it home. The intersection at Route 9 in Callahan has a long light and a short temper. I had the green. A box truck making a delivery run decided the red didn't apply to him, and 40 miles an hour of steel met my driver's side door. I remember the sound more than the impact. A giant can opener, working fast. Then ceiling tiles sliding past overhead, and a voice I knew from the break room saying my name like a question. They brought me to my own emergency room. There's a special embarrassment in bleeding on people you eat lunch with. I drifted in and out while the trauma team ran the alphabet on me. The words I caught weren't good ones. Pressures dropping. Bellies filling. Somewhere in there, my spleen had torn open and was quietly pouring my blood supply into places it didn't belong. Nobody needed my permission to fix it. When you roll in unconscious and dying, consent is implied. The law assumes you'd like to live. But there's a protocol for family. Someone pulls your emergency contact and makes the call, so the people who love you can get in the car. Mine was on file with Human Resources, same as it had been since my first day, Lorraine Rutledge. Mother. I used to think of that line on the form as a formality, a box you fill in and forget. Like your middle name. I know better now. That line is a bet you place on a person, years in advance, payable on the worst night of your life. They wheeled me toward the operating room a little after 9. My blood pressure was a suggestion at that point, and somewhere above me, at the nurse's station, a phone was already ringing. I wasn't awake for any of this. I've pieced it together since, from the one person who was on the other end of that phone. Nora Feeney, charge nurse, my best friend of 9 years, the woman who dialed my mother's number 3 times in one night. The first call went out around 8:45. Nora kept her voice in that steady clinical register we're trained to use. Your daughter's been in a serious accident. She's unconscious. She's going into emergency surgery. You should come now. My mom didn't ask which hospital. She didn't ask if I was going to live. There was a pause, Nora says, with boutique music playing behind it. And then, we're busy. Her sister needs us more right now. Then she asked to be kept posted, the way you'd track a package. The second call came from the trauma surgeon himself before they opened me up, because the numbers were ugly and he believed in giving families the truth. He got the same wall. The third call was Nora again, a little after 11, when I was out of surgery but not out of the woods, pressure still sliding, more blood going in than staying put. She said the words nurses only say when we mean them. If there's family who wants to be here, tonight might be her last. My mother's answer in full: keep us posted. Nora also tried Madison, straight to voicemail. A text came back half an hour later. She was at the emergency vet with Biscuit, and Mom's handling it. Somewhere across town, my mom was handling it from the good chairs at a bridal boutique, and my sister was holding a French bulldog's paw. I was 31 years old, and my next of kin had put me on hold. Nobody came. Not that night. Not the next. I woke